I have to tell you, so Moira posted this beautiful post about Kristen sometime last week, and it was a great kind of a couple of before and after pictures of her transformation. It was so impressive. So I'm using my Facebook etiquette because I'm being taught very well by these girls. So I just asked Kristen, can I share this? And she said, of course. I got like 47 likes on her picture, and that's, I mean, so I said, this is my friend Kristen. Look at what she's done. And it was just so fun to see the excitement and the support for her just because I posted that. So
yeah. Oh, I think it's fantastic to do that. And so in Facebook etiquette, if you use somebody's post, they get a notification. If I've posted something and someone has used it, I get a little notification saying that so and so
has
shared your post. And I don't consider them having to get permission for me to do that. I'm glad.
No, and usually you don't, but I figure since it was her picture and her body that I was sharing all over,
that was very nice of you. Well, see, it's Colorado politeness right there. Okay, maybe Lisa, you want to talk a little bit about about Shaklee Live, and then I want to talk a little bit today about our product collection for the month of March. So go ahead. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, Shaklee Live, we're already getting so excited about this conference. We talk about it a lot, and I can't believe we have to wait clear until August to go. But it's going to be exceptional. We keep getting little sneak peeks of extra special things that the company is going to do while we're in Cleveland. But this page, we're talking about Cash for Cleveland. So this is a great incentive that we're being offered where we can earn cash for anything we want at Cleveland, your hotel, your food, whatever, by sponsoring. And so you just want to make sure you're in tune to that. It's 20 sponsoring points in a month, and you get basically a share of this kind of pot. But I heard a couple gals got it last month, and they got like $150 per share, so like 300 extra bucks.
Oh my gosh!
Sponsoring.
So they know right away how much more they get. Oh,
I don't know how she knew, but she knew.
That's
so yeah,
really good, very good.
So
so it's basically, you get, if you look down here, you get a point every time we sponsor a new member with 50 PV order. You get 2 points with a 100 PV order. They get 5 points then when they get the little gold kit, and they get 10 points when they get the big gold kit. So it's the same. Those are the same points you get when you're working on the power bonuses, and that's something we just need to always be remembering. Yes. Is that as soon as someone becomes a new distributor, a clock starts for 3 months, 3 full months, so they get whatever portion of the month they start in, plus 3 full months. And they now want to start sponsoring as many people as they can to accumulate those points down there, because every time they accumulate 15 points, Shaklee sends them $150.
Yeah.
And so we always try to help them get as much as possible, and it gives such a nice jump start to their businesses as well. And then I also wanted to put this slide in. Lisa, do you ever use this website?
You know what? I do. And the phone number. In fact, I had a wonderful talk with someone the other day that just really went into the whole gelatin discussion with me. It was really nice. So yes, I do use it, and the gal that has been answering lately is just really smart and really sweet, and I love that combination.
Very good. So I just want to put it up there so everyone can put this in your files so you can use this, because sometimes people ask you specific questions that we don't know. It has to do with ingredients or whatever, and so they're really wonderful for that. Very good.
Yeah.
So,
and we can always trust the information we get from Shaklee. It's always very good and very grounded. So it is nice to have a little Shaklee, counseling file. I like it to share with people. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, they're good. So, Katie got muted again. Whoops. What did I do there? I miss Joe operating these slides when.
Joe, we think of you. Kristen's on now too, if you want to.
Okay, good, there it is. Okay, thank you. Kristen?
Hello.
Oh, perfect.
Hello.
Okay, good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am so glad Kristen is joining us. Kristen, how long have you been in Shaklee?
It's going to be 2 years in August.
2 years. This past August?
No, coming up in August. So about a year and a half.
Only a year and a half, yeah. So that's what I thought, is that we've asked Kristen to join us. She does a lot with Facebook. What portion of your business would you say Facebook has played?
Oh, gosh. 70.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I was just bragging on you, Kristen, that post that got put up about you, that you're so sweet and let me share. I got like 47 likes on it. It was so exciting because people
I'm
really
glad.
loved it.
You know, I should have put that slide in here when I have you sharing your story. But you know what? Take a minute and do that now, because we've invited you here because of your Facebook expertise. But would you share your story? So that in the last year and a half, what happened, how you came into Shaklee, and what Lisa's talking about?
Well, I actually joined in 2013, right after I'd had my second daughter. And just like many of us, figured that there was a business opportunity. I had no job. And so it kind of just naturally happened that I said, yeah, I got a check the first month. I thought, hey, this, I could do this. And did my grand opening in July, and then in August ran away with it. And before I knew it, I was fast track director, and right at the beginning had a ton of steam. And after that, it just kind of petered out, and I thought, oh gosh, I should probably learn what I'm doing. I had no business builders.
What a concept, right?
Yeah. I had no business builders last January. I was barely getting 2,000 PV. I was pretty down on the business. I was down on myself. I thought I should have probably been able to keep up with the fury that had been at the beginning. But, I decided I wasn't going to give up, and I have wonderful uplines, and Harper is fantastic and is always there, especially when you're feeling down. And, we decided we were just going to make a new plan, and so that's what I did. And I made sure that I was on the training calls every week, and I kind of just immersed myself into all of the opportunities for growth that Shaklee provides. And
Smart girl.
I was in a corporate job before, and you had to pay for all of your training. So the fact that this is all handed to us and all free, and everybody is so kind and open to help each other out, it was just amazing. And so I decided to just plow ahead, and I was skilling up, which our team calls it, reading and webinars and these professional development sessions. And before I knew it, things were starting to progress a little bit. And had a business builder. I went to conference in August, and before the end of the year, I was hitting about 5,000 OV and getting some really nice checks. And these seeds that I had planted all along the way were starting to come back to me. And I think, Barb, you want me to share that later, but my gosh, so many that I would have never, ever encountered unless it was for Facebook. And I know we've heard that a million times, but it really is the truth. One of my newest customers just in January is a boy that I knew, and I say a boy because I knew him in like 6th grade.
I know. I went to
might be a man now.
I went to my 50th high school reunion this last summer, and I kept referring to everybody as the kids that I knew, and Irvy and Kenny and Dougie and Susie. It was like, I know, it's like that's who they are and were for us, and forever in our brains, that forevermore that's how they shall be. Anyway, yeah. So you met your former classmate, yes?
Oh well, he actually reached out to me and said, I've had it. He's just at a really turning point in his life, and he's like, I just need to lose this weight, and it was so awkward, and I said, can I call you? And I was like, I haven't talked to this kid in 30 some odd years, and anyways, it's amazing what Facebook can do. And Barb, you should share the story about the gal that I met, or you want me to share it?
Yeah.
Who knows your daughter?
Oh, I forgot to tell her about that. I knew there was something else. I went, yes. And by the way, I figured out who she was, by the way.
I figured I told you she knew you so well. Anyhow, real quick, in my town, I'm on the moms page for Facebook, and somebody had reached out about, oh geez, I don't even remember what topic it was, dry skin or something. And I said, you know, can I private message you? And we started chatting. And I said, you know, would you be interested in watching this webinar on, you know, whatever the topic was? And as soon as she saw the link, she wrote me back and said, Lagoni? Is that like in Barb Lagoni? And I said, yes, indeed it is. And it turns out that this gal and Kirsten, Barb's daughter, went through grade school together, it sounded like, and this gal lived, what, Barb houses down from you?
At that time, yeah, she lived maybe 6 houses away, yeah.
And she said, oh, I remember being at the Lagonis when their Shaklee shipment would come in, and everybody would get so excited, and, you know, all the products were there, and she says, oh, yeah, anyways, she just had nothing but great things to say about Barb, and more importantly, Kirsten, too, just about what a kind and generous person she was. And I know, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so, how did this happen?
Yeah, it's that connection is wonderful. And I had, she had adopted a cat from me.
Yes, she
right?
did.
Yeah, so in my former life, you know, we were a foster home for the Humane Society for 10 years.
Wow.
And in that time, I placed over 225, I think it was, pets in homes. And so, you know, so I had, you know, I did mostly cats. So customers would come to pick up their orders, and they would leave with a couple of kittens in their box. Exactly right. All righty, I think we are ready to begin. If you want to get us started today, Lisa, and we just kind of introduced Kristen here, but Kristen's going to join our team this morning because she has done a lot of work with Facebook, and we're going to be revisiting that Facebook conversation today, and then one more time next week where we're going to dive into Facebook events. But anyway, we want you to hear her voice now because she'll be commenting as we go along. So, Lisa, you can get us started, and I will go.
Well, and I will tell you, I'm loving this Facebook conversation that we're having because there's so many things that you can learn about this that go beyond just Facebook. If you kind of really pay attention to the interaction, the community, and the conversation that's happening, they're all applicable to every area. So those are my 2 cents. So welcome everyone to our session today. We're very excited, and it's going to be a great day of just learning and exploring more. So our March product collection is going to be a focus on 180. It's a great time of year to focus on that, and we have so many fun and wonderful stories that we're going to share, but just help you understand a little bit more about that particular product line and how to utilize it for growth.
Absolutely. And what struck me is, you know, the company has been running this promotion for I think it started in January, about 40,000 pound challenge. And we've been reporting out about it on Thursday mornings, but it occurred to me that we haven't really talked about what an amazing program that is. And it struck me this week. I do a lot of three-way calls with our group, both in business and in product, but it is such a great way to teach people by having them just listen to the questions we ask and how we start people on nutrition programs. And I realized that probably 2/3 at least of the health issues that people have concerns about, we end up telling them about Shaklee 180. They may have issues with their knees or their joints. They might have issues with blood pressure or cholesterol. They may have issues with energy or hormonal stuff or whatever. I mean, you come back to there's almost every health issue you can think of in some way will be improved by moving toward a healthier weight. And the other thing I realized, to your the point that you made earlier, Lisa, about using Kristen's wonderful before and after pictures of how much weight was it, Kristen, that you lost? Oh, wait a minute, she muted. Was anyways over 30-some pounds, and
31, Barb, sorry.
31, there you are. 31 pounds, and what a difference that makes for your health.
Yes, yes.
And one of the books that we read, The Weight of the Nation, which is a really good one, by the way, that one, I remember him saying that when we carry extra weight, we increase our risk factors for everything from, you'd think of, diabetes and heart disease, but cancer, dementia. It increases our risk for dementia by 70%. Now, so it's, and we kind of forget how important that is. And so when I see these people, and I was reading that beautiful letter that Maureen Verkler wrote, we had it a few weeks back about, we had her picture, and we attached that letter, by the way, so that is living in Bob's files now if you want it. But she wrote this beautiful letter about how grateful she was for Shaklee 180 because she'd been on so many programs. But this is the first one that really worked for her. So I thought we should just take a minute and be aware of just the power of these products. And so one of the things that struck me is that when we talk to people about Shaklee 180, I don't think people find the topic of weight loss a particularly pleasant one. I don't think people respond quickly when we say, come to a webinar and learn about weight loss. I mean, they'd probably be bombarded 100 times from advertising and television and about weight loss. But I think what touches people, like it is in every other aspect of our business, are the stories. The stories of how people who have really had challenges with this have found this program a way that just they were able to get past their food addictions, because we know how addictive sugars and carbs and wheat and gluten are, and how this program helped them get past that. So and the other thing Joe and I were talking about is that when we sell somebody a turnaround kit, a lean and healthy kit, products in the Shaklee 180 line, it's not like selling them a bottle of Vital E. It's not like selling them a bottle of Basic Age. We really need to stay close to them because you can't just sell them that box and walk away, because there's so much involved in understanding now what am I going to eat today? Because if they don't have a plan for that, guess what they're going to eat? The same thing they ate yesterday, and for the last 10 years. So they need that additional support, I think, of understanding what do I do now? I got the box, it's sitting here. What do I do now? And that's why I so appreciate these support calls and the Jackie McCoy videos and so on that Dr. Jamie has been doing on Tuesdays and Jackie McCoy has made available. And one of these days we're going to have Ashley McDonald come for a visit. Lisa, you want to tell them about what she has done?
Yeah, well, she's so good at creating community. I kind of talk about her a lot right now because I see how effective she is at it. But she of course, is that wonderful gal on the Shaklee Effect video, and her story is so moving. But she started a series of Facebook communities where, and she called them Better Together groups. And so people who wanted to lose weight and join to support each other, they join these groups. And they're just extremely effective because the sharing and the interacting and the encouragement is every day on these Facebook groups. Well, the community has been so positive. She's got a lot of people there that are now building businesses. Well, now she's kind of replicating that out in person here with Janelle Devlin, and they're doing, I think they call it Project Launch, where once a month they're getting together and they're having an exercise time, and they're sharing smoothies, and they're talking products and talking business. So it's just really fun what she's doing with the 180 program to create community, which answers a lot of some of the things that you were saying, Barb, as far as being close and involved and helping people kind of navigate through the changes that they're making, right? I think a great piece of that.
So I pulled up, some of and there's some really good webinars that we've done on Shaklee 180. You can go back. There's some great slides, and you can go back to our training sessions from the spring of 2013, which is when it was launched, and there's tons of information in there about how to be effective in our meetings, our Shaklee 180 tasting parties we had, and there's some great stuff. I just pulled a few of them, and Lisa, this was an interesting one.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'm just going to jump down at the bottom here. When we're talking about the 180 program, it's very, very important to help them with perspective on cost. And if you look at these weekly costs of these two programs, that is brilliant because sometimes people look at the whole month thing and they're like, oh, I can't afford it, but they have to realize that 2/3 of their food budget is now being covered by this program, and then these cost comparisons are really quite good, and you can just go right down and see what people are paying every day, all the time, for other weight loss programs that are not feeding their bodies and not building their health in the manner that Shaklee is doing. So it is a great way to share the program through that avenue as well.
Right, and then pictures are just so powerful. I bet I should have put Kristen's in here too, but I just grabbed these quick. That was from an earlier one. But look at the difference. Look at this. This is Colleen DeGainer might be. Look at the difference. Look at this woman.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Karen Hanrahan, Claire Conley. I gave her that dog. And this one was one of my favorites. This is Merle Gernon. She looked like this. And she emailed Gary Berg back when the program came out, and she said how grateful she was and how excited she was and how she had lost all this weight and so on. And so Gary emailed her back and said, "Oh, Merle, that's so great. Send me a picture. I'd love to see your success." So Merle sends this picture. Wow. Gary emails back and says, "No, Merle, send me your picture." He didn't even recognize him. I wouldn't either. Wow. That was the same person. I love that one. That's why I like to show that one. Now, just to show some math real fast, is these tasting parties are fun. They're short. They're like an hour and maybe a half hour then by the time you close things up. But look at the math on it. What if you, in the month of March, decided that you were going to set up 4 Shaklee 180 tasting parties? And maybe you're going to do this at your house, but maybe you call 4 customers and you give them an incentive to host a tasting party at their house. And let's say they invite just 6 people. I'm not talking about casts of thousands, right? 4, 5, 6 people is lovely meeting. Well, that's 24 people in a month if you did one of these a week. What if just half of them purchased a turnaround kit? Well, that's 12 people times the PV on that is 172. That's 2,000 PV. That's 2,000 new PV. And so if you were doing that under a distributor, they would become a director from that one activity.
Oh my goodness.
And then the following month, what if half of them referred 2 friends and you offered them an incentive, a discount, something, free product to do that?
Right.
And so if just 6 of them shared with 2 friends, now you've got 12 more new members with 172 PV, and you can either create another director or your PV jumps by 2,000. I mean, it was amazing how people were growing when we were focusing on Shaklee 180, and then we took it more. So every time you do that, 2 people, and we know that people are more successful when they do this with a buddy. And so this was how people grew. Now, what we learned from that is we need to also come back and follow up and teach these people about the other products. We have to plug them in. This is what I love about what Ashley is doing, is now she connected them to other people in a community, and they learned about other things. Like, see, I don't think we should ever sell Shaklee 180 without selling a bottle of Optiflora with it, the capsule. So there's the kit. Turnaround kit's 172. The Lean and Healthy is 111. Smoothie kit, where you have the 4 different flavors that they can pick. Well, what if you set a goal to sell 10 of them in a month? You could do it through tastings. You could do it through Facebook. But, well, that would be adding another 1,700 PV. At 20%, that's another 350 plus the markup. I didn't even include that. And the markup would be probably another couple $100. And same with Lean and Healthy. So we just, Lisa, that I gave you
Don't
that
worry
5
about
minutes.
it. You're on a roll.
So sorry, but I
You're fine.
wanted them to see what the kit looks like when it comes.
Yeah, yeah.
And to see that this can be a great way to build your business but help a lot of people in the process. Anything you want to say about that? Lisa?
Well, I think it's so important when you open the door to talking with people about 180 is that you regularly remind them that what you're doing is building health. You're not just about weight loss. We know that losing weight builds health, but you're building health. It's important because there's a psychology piece with people where we think a weight loss program is just a temporary fix. And so I just thought we should constantly be remembering that we're helping them change to building their health. And once they experience these products, it's so important that they start to learn about them and they start to understand them. That's the lifelong benefits. And so what you don't want your 180 success to be kind of here today, gone tomorrow. So you really do want to kind of make sure you're educating and you're drawing in and you're bringing people into community and you're teaching them that this is about good nutrition going into their body forever. So
Exactly. And go ahead, Katie.
Well, I just want to add too, traveling this past weekend, how convenient it is and how I do get some people who look at the price and they think it's expensive, but really when you break it down, you cannot get a healthy meal like that for the price that a bar is, for the price that an easy, quick smoothie is. And so explaining to people really how they will save on groceries, they will save on eating out. You won't be tempted to stop at McDonald's or stop at Subway,
That's right.
places like that. Instead, you'll have a meal that is satisfying and will keep you hungry. And as a busy mom, that's one of my favorite parts is just being able to grab a bar, especially even for kids when you need something quick. And I will notice my daughter, when she has more protein and less of the sugary carbs, her mood is just very different.
Yeah. And the timing of March, anybody want to comment on that?
Well, it's just a few short weeks away from spring, right? And summer.
Exactly right, really. And can you imagine starting now, we can reach some nice goal weights by April and May when we're going to be in shorts and cooler clothes, and they fit differently than when you're all bundled up in sweaters and and parkas and the like.
Well, and can I add, Barb?
Yeah, please, Kristen.
I was talking to Pam Carey yesterday a little bit about 180, and we were talking about how at this point, people who thought that they were going to do their New Year's resolution on their own, like, I got this, I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat right, I'm going to drink more water, they're probably beginning to realize that it's not quite working. And so I feel like there's a new opportunity right now. Like you're saying, spring is coming, and I think people are like, geez, it didn't happen in the first 2 months. I didn't do it. I think they've already fallen off the wagon, per se. So now is a great time, I think, to introduce this to them as an option, and I think people will be a little bit more open to it than even at the beginning of the year during resolution time.
Very good. When everybody else is trying to sell them stuff about weight loss. And I just want to mention, as we're leaving the month of February, just remember that heart disease is still the #1 killer disease for men and women in the United States, and February is Heart Month, and we've talked about these, just getting familiar with these wonderful products that Shaklee has that really help with prevention for heart disease, but probably the #1 thing that people can do to improve their health, their heart health, is lose weight. And so they really go hand in hand. Great. Okay, so with that, Lisa, let's get started with our objectives for today.
All right. So we have some great objectives for today in our session number 7. We're going to talk more about Facebook and just how to share the message of creating healthier lives, expose people to our businesses in a really fun and creative and positive way, and not kind of an in-your-face thing, but just this is what we're doing and this is how it's happening. We're going to talk about developing a customer base and business teams, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the community and the resources that Facebook offers in this area. And there's some really powerful things that are happening on, from the company side and stuff like that. And then this is going to be, I think, a fun webinar because the slides are gorgeous. You're going to see some beautiful Facebook things that have been happening. So we've got some show and tell type slides coming up, and you can see what some brilliant people create and post and share and use on Facebook.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. So Katie, you and Kristen are going to be carrying the heavy lifting on this one, so let's get us started. This is slide from last week to kind of connect us to what we were talking about.
Yeah, so Facebook is rapidly growing in many different ways, and social media is. And the wonderful thing about Facebook is that anybody can do it, and it's extremely flexible. So I have done posts early in the morning. I have done posts while sitting in the car waiting for my husband to come out of Cabela's or a store. I have done posts at night before I'm ready to go to bed. And that's the great thing, is that it's very flexible and that you're going to be able to reach thousands of people. And that's because when you share, a lot of times now on Facebook, your friends' friends can see posts and likes and comments. So it's important that when you're looking and you're worried about, do I have time to do Shaklee? If you have time to go on Facebook, you have time to integrate Shaklee into Facebook. So we're going to give you some examples of how to use Facebook as a resource. We're going to be giving you an expanding circle of influence, an amazing vehicle for connecting with others. So when you meet somebody for the first time, like Harper did with me, you can say, hey, look me up on Facebook, or you can hand them your business card. And then what do? You become friends on Facebook. You connect with them. It's also a great way to follow up with people. So there's been many times where, I should have mentioned alfalfa to them, but the conversation just didn't lead there. And so it's a great way of being able to reconnect with people. It will also give you a platform to become a resource, and you will become known as a health resource, and you'll become known as somebody that can help you with health. And then it will also give you new avenues for marketing and prospecting, and then it will also give you a place to build community as well.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
look what I found, Katie.
I know. I'm so proud of you.
That was Janine's that you told me had a good profile picture, right? Look how she did that. I have no idea how she did that, but go ahead.
It is beautiful. She did just a beautiful job of putting this up on her profile picture. And what I love is Shaklee is it's not just about a product. It's not just about Basic H, which we all love. There's so much more to it. It's a lifestyle, it's a business, it's an opportunity. As she did here, she put these beautiful words of empowering, of dream, of purpose, of flexibility, leadership, friendship, happiness. And I will tell you, the friendship part is, in just 2.5 years, being able to travel and go to global conferences with people, I consider a lot of my Shaklee friends to be some of my closest and dearest friends because of all the connections you make. And you're also very like-minded with people. So show people how it's more than just a product, that it's about this incredible opportunity. And then you see that all of these pictures she's with her friends, she's with her family, and it just looks fun. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of this? She just made this look so beautiful. So everybody's going to ask, well, how did she create that? We're going to actually talk about that today. We're going to talk about some of the programs that you can use on your computer and some of the programs you can use on your iPhone or on your smartphone. Here are some other...
And this one, look at this one down here. That's Carol Cash, who is so wonderful about publicizing the webinars. And it says, the power to have a healthy heart is in your hands. I love that. And then her picture. But here's Susan Knott, and she just had a wedding in her family recently. Isn't that lovely? And this is another one who did a collage. Oh, these people are so clever.
Yeah, Angie Strumke did that collage, which looks beautiful.
Yeah, she did the collage. Yeah. Oh, you recognize it. Very good. Okay. Okay,
all
Katie.
Right. So a lot of people ask what to post on Facebook, and, that's a really good question. And there's a lot of different things that you can post. But this is what I have found successful, and this is, I think, what the majority of people have found successful, is to do a personal picture using the product. So what I mean by that is taking your phone and taking a picture and then making it look cute. And you can put words and graphics and hearts and different things like that over it to make it look visually appealing, which we'll talk about in a second. But you want to take your own pictures because you want to show that you and your family are using the product. And people just like pictures. I'm a visual person, so I always just like to be able to look at pictures. This is why I like Instagram, which, if you're not familiar with Instagram is another form of social media that is strictly pictures. So there's no people can update statuses and things like that on Facebook, and there's none of that on Instagram. It's just merely pictures. So that's another vehicle if you're looking to grow on social media, is to get connected on Instagram. It's growing rapidly, and every day I feel like more and more people. In fact, I think I just saw Pam Carey just join Instagram. So it's just another vehicle that you can use to connect with other people. Nutrition information is really important. So when I post, which you'll see a slide here coming up of garlic, I put all of the properties that garlic can help with. It's anti-inflammatory, it's antiviral, it's antibacterial. And people ask me, well, where do you get that information? And Shaklee has a wonderful list of all different ways. Oh no, what happened to my computer?
Are you okay?
Yeah, it just decided to die out of nowhere. This is why I have the slides. Okay, print it off. So it also has Nutrition and You booklets are ones that we can. Barb, where can we get those?
I was supposed to put that in there. I'll give that to you. I'll tell you. Oh, well, I got it right here. I always keep this. This is a wonderful booklet, by the way, to give when you do new member appointments. And you order it at Vita Books. Vita Books for the number 4u.com. VitaBooks4u.com. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And Dr. Browse has a wonderful book, Building a Better You. And this is actually available on Amazon that you can get it. You can just look up, and I don't know, Barb, is there another way that you can get his book?
Yeah,
Building
well,
a Better You?
Yes, from him. Oh, I really should have had this all put together for you, shouldn't I? I will give that to you in a moment as soon as I find the Dr. Browse information. Okay. Yes, I have that. So there's a phone number, I think, for him as well. Dr.
Okay, we'll get that to you guys.
Here it is, 503-654-3225. I'll send these in. We'll send this in a follow-up email, and we'll put it. We'll put it when we do the recap.
Yeah, I love those Nutrition and You, like you said, Barb, to send for a new member appointment, and then people can look up GLA, and they're just floored with all of the benefits and the ways that it can help your body. And I learn, too, when I go to look up a product, it helps teach me as well what all the different things that a product can help with. And then Better Health in 31 Days. This is just full of information from our wellness webinars that we do on Monday night. We'll send some information about that. And then another thing that you can post is photos of samples, and this has actually been something that has become more popular because Shaklee has been rewarding people for, in the month of January, if you signed up a new member with a 180 kit, you got a whole box of 180 protein packets. And so there have been a lot of Shaklee people who have been posting pictures, like Ashley McDonald, I know, got like 18 boxes of those smoothie packets, and she just will give you an example of what she posted too, but just saying something along the lines of who's interested in a healthy energy in the tea in the morning, send me your name and address and I'll send you a sample. Bonnie Donahue just did that recently. And you know, the great thing about tea and the protein, tea especially, you can just stick that in a little envelope and put a little card in, and it won't cost you very much. And the tea is something that everybody loves, and it helps give you energy. And what I love about samples is the tea and the Basic H and Vitalize Immunity, those are products and the protein that people will try for the first time and immediately notice and see a difference in. So those are some that you might want to look at that you can get through Shaklee that you'll be able to get and hand out samples for. And then it's important to talk about how we don't want to post everything Shaklee. We have to be really careful with this. And so doing the 80-20%, so 80% should be non-Shaklee and 20% should be Shaklee. So health information, interesting articles, family and lifestyle pictures. It's just important that people see that your life is more than just Shaklee, which it is. That's the great thing about what we get to do is we get to enjoy our family, we get to enjoy time out to lunch, we get to enjoy traveling. Show those pictures. Make sure to not just make it Shaklee, Shaklee, Shaklee all the time. And so, yeah, it's an 80-20% rule. We're going to talk a little bit about how often to post. You know, everybody's different. Some people post every single day. It's completely up to you. But you just want to be careful not to just post everything Shaklee all the time. And then promotions and Shaklee specials. So when Shaklee has a special like this month, make a graphic about heart health. Talk a little bit about how heart disease is one of the #1 killer of men and women and how important it is that we protect our hearts. And then talk about how Shaklee right now is giving 30% off to members. So make sure to make that known. Everybody loves a good deal. Everybody is trying to save money. And so I will tell you, whenever I do a special, those tend to go the most successful, to be the most successful because, again, everybody wants a good deal and everybody wants to save money. So make sure that's another example. And then when to post and how often. So I've actually done a little research with this, and I found that the peak times for Facebook are Monday morning, and throughout the week, when you post at 9 a.m. or 5 p.m., the majority of people are on Facebook. And so that's just important to know that Monday mornings tend to be the highest amount of time that people are on Facebook, which makes sense because Monday mornings can sometimes be a little rough getting started and finishing the weekend, and sometimes maybe people are at work, although you probably shouldn't be on Facebook if you're at work. But and so also make sure to post at least once a week. So it's important to stay consistent with Facebook. So sometimes I'll do a post and I won't get much interest, and that is very, very, very normal with social media. But I consistently stay at it. I just continue at it like we do when we're talking to people about the business. We're not going to get a yes every single time, but I'm going to consistently be reaching out to people. And then make pictures appealing and educational. This is so fun for me, although I wouldn't consider myself a graphic artist or anything, but I do enjoy trying to make pictures appealing. So, for example, when you're taking a picture, think about the background. Think about how I did that picture and I had my table runner below it with you see the yellow and the green, just to make it look a little nicer. And then I put all the tea in a little sample basket there. And then I just talked about, I did the words, energizing tea, alkalizes the body, anti-inflammatory, detoxifier, energy and fat loss stimulator. Who wouldn't want a product like that? Everybody needs a more alkaline body, which is really important, but everybody also needs energy, and everybody's always concerned about reducing inflammation in the body. And then I said in the post, this was actually on Instagram, I said it's been a rough few days, so I've been needing a pick-me-up. Love our energizing tea for so many reasons, mostly energy, but also loaded with so many nutrients. Did you know green tea can be heavily contaminated? Rest assured, this tea has been heavily tested for contaminants, because a lot of people don't know that tea is one of the most contaminated products that you can get. And so it's nice knowing that, again, Shaklee has been heavily tested for that. So if you search on your phone, just go to the App Store. There is an app that I love that actually Bonnie, who I have to give her credit, she told us about. It's called Rayonna, and it's spelled RHONNA. And it's just a program where you're able to upload the picture, and then you're able to put words across, and you're able to, you see that little heart and that says smitten and there's an arrow through it. You're even able to add cute little hearts and arrows and different things like that just to make it a little bit more appealing. There's also a program called Word Swag, SWAG. Now this program is if you don't have a picture and you just want a background, like for example, free shipping, or if you want a 30% off heart health promotion, and you don't have a picture, you can go to the Word Swag and it'll give you a background, and then you can put in whatever words that you want. And I'll give you an example of that in a few slides. And then the next one was something that I created on Canva, CANVA, and that's a program that you use from your computer where you can create the image in your computer and then copy and paste it into Facebook. So Canva actually provided that background. You see that red, they have dots, and it just looks, it was for Valentine's Day, and then it had the heart on it. Canva is a program where you can just type in the text, and again, another opportunity to make your pictures visually appealing. And then what I did is I printed off this. I printed this on cardstock. So Canva allows you to save the image as a picture, and then you can just print it on cardstock. You can make it a small size to make it like a photo, like 4 by 6, and then include it with your tea. And it talks
Oh, that's clever. That's very
the energizing tea, pack it with the performance. And then here's another picture, Beyond Organic. This was one I believe I used from Word Swag, I think. I hope that's right. And this I've been seeing this floats around everywhere. But this was, no, actually I think it was a different app. I'll have to look it up. I'll send you a whole list of all the apps that I use.
Oh,
but
good idea. We'll attach it.
What's so important is people always ask, is it organic? Is it? And Dr. Daggy had a wonderful explanation about how Shaklee goes beyond organic. We are beyond organic. And so I just explained how we trust Shaklee and the extensive quality testing on their products to ensure that they are safe, going beyond organic. Organic is a means of production. It is not a guarantee that the food is clean. Pesticides and herbicides do not respect the field boundaries. And so I just talked a little bit about that. And so again, just another way of capturing what makes Shaklee unique and making it visually appealing. And then posting about products to stay healthy through the holidays. You can see there I made it, I had a little Christmas countdown for my daughter, and I just put that in there. And I don't think I could have survived Christmas if I hadn't had my protein, my Vitalize Immunity, and my tea Vitalizer strip. So I just put on there, Merry Christmas, starting my day healthy and energized. Several friends shared with me how much Vitalize Immunity helped them not get sick or recover quickly, packed with as much vitamin C as 16 oranges.
Mm-hmm. What I like about this is, if I clear my throat, is how you incorporate your use of the products with your daily living. That's the real, I think that's the power of Facebook. I love that you have that one. Okay. Now this one is interesting.
Yeah, this one, I have to give credit again to Ashley McDonald for this one because she did just a wonderful job of talking about alfalfa. And alfalfa is an incredible product because it helps so many people with milk supply. But you know what? I want to see that difference between having no alfalfa and having alfalfa that you use for your milk. So she did a picture without alfalfa. You can see on the left she had about 2 ounces, and then on the right she had with alfalfa, and she produced double the amount. And so that
that's powerful.
Is very powerful. Lisa, do you want to talk about the Malaysian moms and how they built their whole business around this whole concept?
You know, I don't know why that struck me funny, but I think you're right because we were kind of hearing of some of these Malaysian moms, and you know they've just gone crazy and kind of taken over the country of Malaysia with Shaklee. And one of their most successful things was a mom support blog, and these were the things that they showed. They showed pictures that said pre-Shaklee, post-Shaklee. Before I took Shaklee, after I took Shaklee, and they did a lot. And there's a wonderful thread of breast milk pictures. And again, it's powerful because, you know, scientifically we could give someone a great lecture on why this works. But boy, if they see the picture, that's enough, right?
And now 1% of the entire country of Malaysia uses Shaklee products, and they have traced it back to that. Love
this one girl who started a blog. She has changed that country. It's amazing. So, yeah. All right. Katie, are you there? She might be doing a little child interference.
Okay, Katie. Talk amongst yourselves. Right, go ahead. All right.
Okay. And then I have a business page for Shaklee. It's Odom Wellness. And I had saw that Becky Cash had talked about that the first 1,000 days of life, conception through 2 years, nutrition is the most important factor for a successful future. That really stood out to me, And so then I did a couple images of Incredivite, and I love this image. It just says, I'm sure your child probably eats a perfect balanced diet. If not, let us help. we know that no child eats a perfectly balanced diet. And then the next picture talks about lactoferrin, which is really important and one of the unique parts about Shaklee's Incredibite.
Oh, we
and
can't
then
see that. Okay.
Shaklee has been helping us with social media by creating these absolutely gorgeous pictures that you can go to Shaklee Corporation on Facebook. You can like them, and then they have all these images that we can share. And so, Barb.
Fantastic.
Oh, sorry. This is Lisa's slide. Go ahead, Lisa.
Oh, that's okay. You know, there's not a ton to say there, but this is one of those community support things that we mentioned in our kind of objectives, is that, you know, if you like the Shaklee corporate Facebook page, they put up the most clever, attractive, current pictures for us to use. So yeah, and they're really quite wonderful, and you can share them. I see people sharing the same picture with little personal captions. This is what I do, or I'm so proud of this company. You know, I'm so thankful that I get to work wherever I want. And so it really is just a resource for us that's branded by Shaklee, that is clever, that is, you know, current, and use them. You know,
and they're right there. They're wonderful.
Right there. Yep. Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's see. Oh, well, Kristen, maybe you should take this one, because Kristen has been trying to teach me the abbreviations of texting and Facebook. Are you back? Wait a minute, make sure she's not muted.
Yes, I'm here.
There you are. Good.
she
Okay,
is.
go ahead.
Well, you know, I just like to keep you in the now, Barb. I'm just, you know.
I know, I appreciate it, absolutely. She passes me a card at the January conference telling me about what these things are. But there's a lot of languaging around Facebook that may not be familiar to us, like walls and news feeds and timelines and so on.
Yeah, and you know, even down to our Shaklee Talk, we have several things that we exchange through on Facebook or on messaging. And just the other day, I was speaking with Susan Knott through Facebook Messenger, and I said, I have to do some F/U today. And she wrote back and said, F/U, ? And I said, oh yeah, follow up. And we always laugh because
that could be something else. Yes.
could be something very different.
You might want to tuck the P on that one.
So, yeah, I mean, there are wonderful ways to just stay quickly connected with people, and so using those texting abbreviations are nice sometimes. I find that you'll get them a lot from people who respond to your posts, and they'll ask questions or they'll say something funny and then put an LOL, which means laughing out loud, or BTW, by the way. Before, the one that's kind of covered there is OMG, and that's oh my goodness, and then TY, thank you, or TTY, I'll talk to you later. So, you know, it keeps it quick, it keeps it fresh, and, you know, it makes us feel like we're still somewhat a part of the younger generation, which I'm pretty sure we're not, but that's
Very good. And so these other we'll show them what this is when you show your the pictures of the website. And then I put this one in because I was cruising around and finding the explanations, and this is something that Bonnie and Harper shared with us last week, but maybe Kristen, while you're there, just explaining the importance in using the like button and why that is beneficial.
Well, sir, and I'm by no means a computer whiz at all, but what I've learned is that you learn more the more that you're on, and the more that you post, and the more that you interact with Facebook, the more you're going to learn and become comfortable. So what it means to like something, below a post, you will see a couple different options, and like is one of them. And when you like something, really all it's doing is showing the person who posted that you're recognizing what they posted. It also, when people get likes, it bumps it up on the newsfeed. And newsfeed was something that was on the last slide. But newsfeed is the thing that you see when you go onto your Facebook. When people are posting, that continually refreshes and updates so that every time you go on, there's a newer story at the top. And if you want your stories to stay relevant, liking and commenting and sharing will help you to do that.
Nice.
If there is a video or a photo, you can also click on the photo or the video and then like the individual photo or video as well. And then, yes, the person who posted will get a notification up in their notification box, which is up on the right side. There's a little icon there, and it will say who liked your photos or your post.
Okay. There we
Good.
go. So, Kristen, share your story, if you would, and how you are using Facebook and networking. I really love this.
Sure. Well,
Kristen.
I started using products about, well, it was May of 2013, and quickly realized that this was going to be a way for us to supplement some income that I had lost when I lost my job. And it seemed fun, and it seemed social, and that's kind of what I was looking for. So by August of 2013, I decided to start my own business, and then by October, I was Fast Track Director. And a lot of that was just friends and family, but what I quickly realized was that once the novelty of my starting my business wore off a little bit, I needed some new customers. I needed a new fishing pool. So I went back to Facebook and I started a business page, a wellness page, and I also started living a little bit more up in front on Facebook. So I started posting, like Katie had mentioned, what I was doing during the day or what I was eating or drinking, and sure enough, people started to watch, and a few would call here and there, but not until last year about this time. I was barely making director each month. I had no business builders, and I really kind of wanted to give up and just kind of say, well, maybe this isn't for me. And with Harper's help and some of my other amazing upline leaders, you know, we kind of pushed through that, and I decided, all right, you know what, I'm going to get back to brass tacks, and I'm going to start skilling up, is what we call it, which is training, any type of professional development you can do. And I got on all of these training sessions, and I started listening sometimes twice. And before I knew it, people were starting to contact me. And for those of you who are at that brink of almost getting to director, I know that you're rolling your eyes because I can hear it. That's what I was.
Easy for you to say, Bunky.
Right, right. And what I will tell you is that every single person on this call who you want to be like has been through that. And I'm here to tell you that with a little patience and a lot of hard work, you will get there as well. Mm-hmm. At this point, I am a senior director. I have one amazing director below me, one who is ready to break out as well. And I have so many communications on Facebook. It's probably, I told Barb, maybe 70% of my business contacts are through Facebook, whether they be customers or potentials or business builders or just reach outs. They're all basically there.
Very good.
Very good. Okay. And so, Kristen, would you also? So you shared that for a year after you became, like thinking back a year ago, after you became a director, and you were doing 2001 by your fingernails, and then a year later, you are now a senior director with 3,000 PV, 5,000 OV. In qualification for your car. What were the most important things that changed for you? You said was going from only having a Facebook interaction with people to picking up the phone and calling them.
Right. Well, what I'll say right away is that change is pretty uncomfortable for me. I'm always open. I'm always open to change. I'm always setting goals, but making changes in my personal life and my professional life in order to get there has always been a hurdle for me. But this change was uncomfortable for me, but I tried it and it's worked. And so I just kept, that was kind of my new mantra, like, hey, you know what, I was scared to do this too, but I tried it and it worked. And so if everyone is saying the same thing and they're all saying if you get off your computer and get on the phone and go out and meet with people, then you're going to increase your PV. it's got to work. So I just put a little bit of faith into that, and I, took a lot of stress relief complex, and
She's so smart.
took a lot of deep breaths, and I got on the phone, and I decided that I wasn't going to respond too much anymore in Facebook posts, and what I was going to do was just offer to talk to the person through private message. And one of the very first things I do now when I privately message somebody is I get their phone number. And there's a couple reasons for that. Very obviously, the first reason is because you hope to follow up with them on a phone call. But if anybody uses Facebook, you know that you could be talking to somebody 1 second and having a great conversation, and the next thing you know, they're offline. And you never really know when you're going to cross that path again or when they're going to answer a message again. I think we've all been there where we kind of ask people, oh, what happened to our conversation? Or I thought we were chatting about something, or I must have lost you, and they never get back to you. They are, who knows what they're doing. But we always assume it's that they don't want to talk to us or that we scared them off. So instead of getting all the way there where I get so negative about what they're thinking about me, I just grab their phone number right away, so then I can call them and say, hey, I must have lost you on Facebook. I don't know, something weird happened. And just blame it on the technology. That's what I do. Just say, I don't know what happened, but I lost your message, so I just thought I'd call. And the minute I started doing that, I started getting into these, what everyone has told me, these conversations that are meaningful, and that all of a sudden you break that wall down and the person says, oh my gosh, let me tell you. And then they go on. And it really opens up.
Oh, totally, Kristen. I just think that's so true that I had some people tell me on my team this week, I couldn't believe when I was following up with people all the issues that came out. And I just think that's the case, too, about how you're talking to people and all of a sudden they're saying, does Shackley have anything that helps with heartburn? Oh, my daughter's been having these chronic ear infections. What do you think she could do? And, yeah, Kristen, I totally agree. That's a good point.
Really good, yeah.
And I think it doesn't have to be a long phone call. And that's what I made my goal at the beginning, was just to call and just to make an excuse why I had to get off the phone. And Harper has always told me that, be in a rush. The first time you talk to somebody, be in a rush. Like, tell them you're getting out of the car to go into your doctor appointment or your eye appointment or whatever, and just say, I just had a minute and I just wanted to connect with you, but can we set up a time to chat, because I'd really like to talk to you a little bit more about our conversation or whatever. And then you get in the door and you can hang up and take your deep breath and go, oh my gosh, I did it. And I promise you, if you do that, you will have the courage to call one more person too. And that's where I think that paradigm change really happened for me, and I started to feel like it was all going uphill. It was no longer like, oh my gosh, no one wants to talk to me, no one wants to hear what I have to say. It was much more positive than that.
Very good.
So
Okay.
this is one of my posts that I recently did in my wellness group. Now, my wellness group is a group of just my customers and just my friends who are not local, but just my friends who are in like our Shackley team. And I do that for a couple reasons. I do that, one, to make sure that my customers feel comfortable asking questions that they might not want to ask in a public forum. And I also add in some of my Shackley team members and my friends, because if I can't get back to a post, they do, or like you'll see on this one. So here I put, GLA has changed my lady life. I put a little testimonial that most of my customers know about me, that I had some fertility issues. So it looks like I'm sharing a little bit of private information, and this is a comfortable place to share something like this. And I can't believe it took me this long to figure out that this GLA has totally changed my life, yada, yada, yada. And then I always link directly to the product on my personal website. And especially when you're starting out on Facebook and you're doing it on, you're posting on your news feed, go ahead and link people right away to your website, because they may not even know where to go to get your website, or that you even have a website. So the first, probably 6 months that I posted, I always connected it directly to my personal website. So then you'll see what happens here. I put a couple pictures. I put a couple pictures out of the Nutrition and You guide, and then a picture of GLA, which I'm going to be 100% honest. Somebody on this call is probably saying, hey, those are my pictures, because I took them from somebody else's post.
That's how I do it.
Yeah. So if you're on, thank you very much for this photo. And then if you click to the next slide, you'll see that it says Allison Cargyle and 12 others like this. And that goes back to what we were talking about before. When you click that like button, it keeps it relevant on the newsfeed. So it also tells you that the post has been seen by 64 people. So that gives you an idea how many people are kind of paying attention to what you're posting. And then the first post is one of my customers who has been a customer since the beginning, but she's never used GLA before. And apparently I hadn't spoken to her about how it can work for migraines. So right there, that's a new, old customer who's going to buy something new. And then the next couple are from my Shackley sisters. And this is what's wonderful about our team, is that now here's a little chatter. And Angela comments how she used it. And then I say how I've been able to eliminate an over-the-counter medication, which I know, I did that totally intentionally, because I know that there are scads of people that they just go straight to the ibuprofen once they have their cycle because it hurts so bad. And I'm telling them now, hey, there's an opportunity for you to ditch the ibuprofen, which we all know is not great for you. And then you can see it just goes down the line. A few more people jump in. And then Janine says, it's great for kids with ADHD. And then Lisa is actually one of my downlines, and she jumps in, and she knew that it's great for ADHD, but look what she did. She kind of coaxes a little more conversation, and it just goes on. And then a few more down, you'll see that I tagged somebody, and we were talking about tagging a little bit. And we'll talk about it a little bit more, but tagging is when you want somebody else to specifically see this post. So you can do it when you put your post up. You can tag people right away so that it goes right to their notification, or you can tag people in the comment section. And all I did was type in Laura's name, and then if she's a friend of yours, it will pop up, and then you highlight her name, and it tags her, and then you hit enter, you hit return, and it pops up there. So now what it's done is it says, hey, Laura, Kristen just tagged you in a post. And she goes, oh, me? Okay, well, I'll check that out. What does she have to say? Well, what I did that for is because me and Laura and then Sheena, and we obviously had talked about this product, and then I'm just saying, hey, look, I just posted something on a product, because now they're going to see what everybody else has commented on.
Very nice.
So that's the power of tagging other people in your posts and in your comments.
And Katie, this is an example of tagging.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm having some. Oh, okay, good, great. Okay. So this is something that Michelle did, and Michelle always has the best graphics. And look at her beautiful face, kissing the stress relief. And what she said was, I never go a day without stress relief and the vitalizing protein. I absolutely love my Parrot Punch for a daily pickup, which is the performance and the energy tea when you mix them. Can you share in the comments below what impacts you have seen with these products? And then she tagged the people on our team to comment on what difference it made. What's great with this, like Kristen said, is that now friends of hers and friends of Moira and all of her other people are seeing all of the stories and the testimonies of how these products have helped them. So I did one a while back, and I have to give credit to Crystal Gossett, and who started this? I think Crystal did, was one of the people who started this. And she started tagging people. And what's great is I did a tag like this recently about the teacher webinar that we did on the Power of Your Profession on Monday night. But I didn't tag my friends until the very end, until my friends could go back and read all of the stories and all of the testimonies of what they helped. And I will tell you, it worked extremely well. That night, after the webinar, I got a text that said, oh, I just saw your Facebook post. Can we chat about that teacher's webinar? I called her up yesterday and we chatted, and she said, you know what? It totally made sense. I never knew about how teachers could be really successful with Shaklee, but once I saw your post and once I read all of your friends who are teachers, I want to do the business.
Nice.
And I just thought, wow, this is amazing. This is just a perfect example. Beth did another one where she did Shaklee. It's helped me and my family with so many health issues. I can't go a day without my 180 products, as well as making my children healthy. And she talked about her the Incredibites and the Chewable C, and added some cute graphics that I think Heather Hirsch did about those. And so, and then people commented on them again. So tagging other people
examples.
Into it shares other people's testimonies and stories, and also the more you tag, I think it increases the news feed, where you're going to have your friends see it on top of their news feed, so more people are likely to see it. And the tagging also, it all came from, I guess, that you could tag people in pictures. I think that's kind of where it originated from, is that you can have a family picture, and then you can post a picture and then tag them in there. But what we're doing is a great other opportunity of being able to tag people in some of our products. So as we think through, wow, I can't believe this is already over. As we think through our action steps, I think, Lisa, you're going to do this slide.
Yeah. So we just want to encourage you to join some Facebook groups. And so we had talked about liking the Shaklee corporate page, but there's a few other pages we want to mention real quick because they are fantastic resources. So if you go on your Facebook and you type in at the top the Shaklee Effect, it'll pull up a closed group. And this is a group that the corporation has created for us, and there's a couple of frauds out there, so just make sure it has, like, I think 2,000 plus members, and you know you're in the right one. Click on it, and when you go there, it'll tell you the directions to be accepted to that group. I happen to love this group because we get daily information from corporate about, what call is coming up, and remember to send in your numbers for the 40,000 pound challenge. And I love, Kathy Keating is doing some fantastic just communication with us, as Scott, Ty Scott, and all of these other great people. You get some inspirational stuff from Kevin and Craig, and so it's just a great site. So do that. There's also another one that's field ran, and what I mean by that is so it's not the Shaklee home office or Shaklee corporate, and that's called Sharing Shaklee. It's also another closed group, and you can go there. It has 3,000 plus members, and there's directions on what to do to get accepted to that one. That is a resource because, and there's some regulations, or not regulations, but there's some instructions on how to post, and they want to keep it positive and stuff. But boy, if you're looking for someone that can give you a few tips on, let's say you've got someone with some GI upset, or you've got a new member and you're not sure what to say, you can go there and you can search through old conversations, or you can actually post and say, hey, has anyone dealt with I've got a 12-year-old that's having problems with this. And so it's a wonderful community, just chock full of great other Shaklee leaders that want to share and support and offer information. So you'll find a bunch of other ones out there, but those are the ones that I just thrive on. So you can kind of read through that, but we just really want to encourage you to make sure you're getting all the benefits of the community that's involved on Facebook, because it's kind of wonderful.
Very good. Oh my gosh, you guys, we could do a whole semester on Facebook, because it's just such a powerful medium. Now, we have a few questions that we could just quickly run through. I have thank you everyone for sending us the ordering information. VitaBooks for the number and then YOU.com for those wonderful nutrition and you booklets. And then Linda and several of you said the Dr. Browse books are at thefrontrunners.com. And I think you might even be able to get the nutrition and you booklets there as well. Just remember to put the in front of frontrunners.com. And Dr. Browse's website is healthedcorp.com. And then several of you mentioned that March is National Nutrition Month, so it's a wonderful way that we can be posting about that and what a difference it's made in our health and our lives. Several of you have asked if you would, speakers, Kristen and Katie, about these things that we've been talking about today, they're asking, are you posting these things on your personal Facebook page or on your business Facebook page? And I answer that one first, and then I'll give you the follow-up question.
Well, for me, I've gotten a little bit crafty now that I'm comfortable with Facebook. At first, when I very first started, I only was using my personal page. And I did that for about 4 months maybe. And then I wanted to put more content specific, and I wanted to put more product information. And so I decided to go ahead and do a business page. So I did that, and since that was going well, I decided that I wanted that more private group for my customers to be comfortable asking questions. And so as soon as somebody gets a membership, I tell them, congratulations, and I said, you know, I'm also adding you to this KJAC Wellness group, and feel free to post here freely and ask questions. And so I kind of rotate now what I post where. And my personal page, I really try to keep that at the 80-20. And the other two, I can go ahead and freely do almost all business on both of those.
Very good. And the special graphics that Katie spoke about, and then Robin also mentioned she uses, is Canva. That's CANV as in Victor A.com. So thanks, Robin, and that was the one that Katie mentioned also. Thanks. So start on your personal page, and when you start getting some facility with Facebook, then set up the business page, and then how do you then get people to see your business page?
Well, that's the tricky part, is with a business page, you have to you can't technically, I believe, ask people to go and like your business page, but business pages are by likes and shares. And so originally I just kind of private message, or I asked people face-to-face or on the phone if they would go ahead to my business page and like it and share it. You can invite people to it, but a lot of people, their invite section on their Facebook page is inundated with so many invites that it just gets buried. So you can remind people to like your page, but it is a little bit tricky to get people to your business page just because it's purely fueled by likes and shares.
So you have to tell them about it from your personal page.
Correct.
That's where you start. And so Ann was asking, there's two pages. There's the Facebook personal page, and there is the Facebook business page. Were you talking about you weren't talking about a third page, were you?
I was. I have a third one, which is a group.
That's like a team page? Yeah.
And, but that's your business team page. Okay, got it. I'm seeing. Got it. So that's what she was referring to. Yeah, that's not a It's not a
separate Facebook thing.
It's
she just created a group. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And by the way, and those are wonderful. That's where you really build community with your team. Anyway, oh my gosh, guys, I hope I've gotten most of your questions. And remember, even on the material that we were just giving a little snitch and snatch of about Shaklee 180, those are all archived at betterhealthin31days.com. betterhealthin31days.com. That's a paid subscription site, and it'll be personalized with your picture and your information. You can send your customers to and do a learn and earn program with it, or if you're on a budget, go in it with another leader or two, so you have access to those webinars. But we have to keep that password protected because we have a little more freedom of what we share there and the products. Okay, and now Chris and Michelle, who operate that, you have to get on a waiting list to get in there until they have the time to add you now, because they are now developing a Shaklee business themselves, so their time is a little more limited in setting that up, but still available to everybody. Susan mentioned how important code Q10 is for people on statins. Thanks, Susan, for the reminder about that. So the more detail on product you will get at that Better Health in 31 Days, and all of these business Thursday morning sessions, they are all archived both to the, there's now a sister website when you get that subscription called Better Future.
Better Future starts today.
I always mess it up every time.
Can I also
go ahead.
add something, Barb, about
Yeah.
Facebook that I think we forgot to mention? When you do a post, make sure that if you need other people in Shaklee to support your page by sharing a story or commenting or liking, just message your friends and say, hey, would you mind posting? I know you have a really good protein or a really good 180 story, or posting it to your team page on Facebook. That will also be really helpful. So don't be afraid to reach out to other people and say, hey, would you mind supporting me on this? Because I know that I do that a lot as I try and help other people as well.
Yeah. And I also want to mention something that both of you have spoken about, and both of you, Lisa, and all of you have talked about, and that is, you know what, time is one of our most precious resources in Shaklee, especially those of you who have young children or full-time jobs or both. And so do not feel like you have to create everything. The power of our business is learning how to do things that duplicate. And so I encourage you to use one another's posts and use one another's graphics. You can use anything that I post now that I'm actually posting something. In fact, last week I was after I was so inspired by our call last week that I decided that I would Bonnie Donahue really talked about the importance of having your profile picture, you know, and what people see when they come to your Facebook page. And I went and looked at mine, and of course it was black. So I thought, all right, I'll figure out how to do this. And in clicking around, I accidentally clicked on something that was about Facebook friend requests. And here were this whole big long list of people that apparently had requested to be my friend, which I never had responded to because I couldn't figure out why anyone would want to be my friend on Facebook because I never posted anything. So I started clicking on those things, and all of these messages started coming in, and so I am slowly learning this like everybody else, but I just think it's important that we use one another's things, because you don't want your business leaders spending time making graphics. They need to be spending their time in conversation with people, and the conversation on the phone, in person, in appointments, and on Facebook. So that, don't feel guilty about that. I think it's wonderful to acknowledge people when they're brilliant at that, but we all have gifts. And some of us are very gifted at making graphics and making posts and sharing your stories. I mean, everybody can do that, but you will have other gifts that you will share with others. It's this whole concept of networking that, Christian, you brought up and we were talking about in the pre-call. I just think is community at its best, where we all play to each other's strengths. We all have skills. Let's use our skills and share them and help one another build one another's businesses. It's excellent. So thank you. We had a huge attendance today, and thanks. I just think people realize that this is such a key element of our businesses, and you all that shared today, just thanks so much. I mean, you're helping a lot of folks, and it's gonna applying these things now in the month of March. You're going to really see that's starting to show up in your businesses and your volumes and the people who want to be part of your team and part of the energy and the camaraderie that we have. We're really quite blessed. So thank you. Anything else anybody has? I hope I got most of your questions. I'm missing my partner today, who is basking in the sun in Florida somewhere, because she helps me field the questions, but I hope I got most of them. Okay, so thanks everyone. We'll have one more session next week with Stephanie Bruce, and we're going to talk about Facebook events, because these are amazing. They have been so successful now in our group that we have at least one every week. So Tuesday night has become Facebook event night, but I'll bet you in the last week we probably had 4 or 5 at least throughout our group. And team up. That's another one. Don't try to create all that yourself. Katie, it can be 4 or 5 hours to create a Facebook event. And that share them. Once you go to the effort of making one, let's find a place, a central library for them where we can share those so that we have people doing them, and then open your Facebook event to others so you can get more energy, more commenting, more stories, and so on. All right, so that's next week. I'm looking forward to that very much. Stephanie is the queen of that one. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.